Most people think the worst sound you can wake up to is a scream, or an alarm, or breaking glass. But for me, it was the sound of a phone ringing at 2:17 a.m. Because the only person who would call me at that hour was the same person who hadn't spoken to me in 10 years. When I saw his name on the screen, Daniel, my hands shook so violently I almost dropped the phone. I thought the call meant someone had died. What I didn't expect was that someone was being born. And he said 7 words I will never forget. "Mom, Emily might not make it." Those words ripped me out of bed faster than any alarm ever could. My son, Daniel, hadn't spoken to me in a decade. 10 years of unanswered letters. 10 years of holidays spent staring at a chair that stayed empty. 10 years of wondering how a single argument could swallow an entire relationship. People ask me what happened, as if a fight that big must be complicated. But it wasn't. It was the simplest things that broke us: pride, stubbornness, fear. And a conversation I mishandled on the day he needed me most. He was 28 then. Confident, impatient, burning through decisions the way young people do, fast, full of hope. He came home one afternoon and told me he was getting married. "Mom, I'm telling you, not asking you," he said, pacing the kitchen floor. And instead of hugging him, instead of trusting him, I let my fears speak louder than my love. "You're rushing," I said. "You barely know her. You're not thinking straight." I still remember the look on his face, a mixture of disbelief and hurt. "You don't even try to know her," he said quietly. "You don't try to know me, either." He left with a slammed door that shook the whole house. I never imagined that would be the last time I'd hear his voice for 10 years. I wrote. I called. I apologized. Sometimes he replied, most times he didn't. Eventually, his messages became shorter. "I need space. Please stop. Mom, let me live my life." So I stopped. Not because I wanted to, but because I didn't know what else to do. The silence stopped being a pause. It became a wall. And now, 10 years later, he was on the phone at 2:17 a.m., sounding like the child he once was. The child who used to wake me from nightmares. "Emily's in labor," he said. "Early. There are complications." My breath caught. "She asked for you," he added, voice breaking. "She wants our daughter to meet her grandmother. And she wants us to fix things. Tonight. Before the baby comes." My coat was on before he finished speaking. The maternity ward smelled like anxiety and disinfectant. I found Daniel pacing outside the delivery room, his hair thinner, his shoulders heavier. He looked up when he heard me. And for a long moment, he just stared. He looked older, sadder, more human than the stubborn boy who left all those years ago. "Mom," he said, almost in a whisper. I didn't wait for permission, I just hugged him. Tentatively at first, then tightly, as if 10 years of regret might dissolve if I held him hard enough. He didn't pull away. "I'm scared," he murmured. "I know," I whispered back. "I'm here now." We sat side by side as the minutes crawled. "Mom, I should have listened to you," he said quietly. "You weren't wrong. I was just young. Defensive. I didn't handle it well either," I admitted. "I let my fears push you away." He nodded, eyes glassy. "I thought you didn't want me to be happy." The words stabbed deeper than any knife. "Daniel," I said, voice trembling, "you were the center of my happiness." He swallowed hard. "I wasted so much time." So did I replied. But we can stop wasting it now. And for the first time in 10 years, we smiled at each other. A nurse appeared at the door. Ready, Dad? Daniel stood, then turned to me. Come with me? He asked. I blinked. Are you sure? He nodded. Mom, I want you there. Inside, Emily lay exhausted, pale, but smiling faintly when she saw me. She reached out her hand. Thank you for coming, she whispered. Thank you for calling, I said. Only minutes later, a cry filled the room, small, sharp, alive. The nurse wrapped a tiny pink bundle and handed her to Daniel. His hands shook as he held his daughter. Then he looked at me. Mom, he said softly, meet Lily. He placed her in my arms. Her face was wrinkled, her breathing uneven, yet she was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. In that moment, 10 years of grief didn't vanish. But they softened, and something warm, something familiar, something I thought was gone forever took its place. Love. 2 days later, as they prepared to leave, Daniel walked beside me to the parking lot. Mom, I want you in her life, he said. Really in her life. Not just visits. I want her to know her grandmother. Tears pricked my eyes. That's all I've ever wanted. He hesitated, then added quietly. And maybe we can start over too? I squeezed his arm. Daniel, I said, we already have. As I watched him load his tiny new family into the car, I felt something bloom inside me, fragile, glowing. Hope. The kind that reminds you. It's never too late to mend what's broken. It's never too late to forgive. And it's never, ever too late to begin again.